Iraqi Dinar Today latest news viewers. Today's broadcast contains information that might be among the most crucial insights you receive this year. We urge you to remain tuned in for the entire presentation, as what we are about to reveal is not founded on mere speculation or unverified predictions. Instead, we're providing a detailed examination of the deeply hidden activity currently taking place within the global financial architecture, processes that typically remain completely invisible to the general public. In the complex world of international currencies, significant changes and structural adjustments are almost always executed silently, within the protected confines of banking and digital systems, long before any official public announcement is made. These subtle, behind-the-scenes movements concerning the Iraqi Dinar IQD are now generating an unprecedented volume of inquiries, a palpable surge of energy, and a series of technical signals that surpass anything currency observers have noted in recent memory. Our global audience has been sending us questions, wondering why various financial systems feel subtly different, why certain digital platforms exhibit what appears to be unusual or erratic behavior, and why the technical conversations surrounding terms like system testing, data syncing, and back-end infrastructure updates are becoming notably more prominent. Today, our goal is to meticulously unpack all of this reported activity, presenting it in a clear, calm, and easily digestible manner. We want to ensure every viewer fully understands the precise implications of this technical phenomenon, what it definitively does not signify, and why a growing number of analysts believe these quiet, hidden tests could be laying the foundational groundwork for a substantial future change. If you are someone who currently holds the dinar, are considering the dynamics of this currency, or simply maintain a keen interest in the global financial market shifts, then this comprehensive update is essential viewing for you today. The entire atmosphere surrounding the Iraqi dinar has undeniably undergone a transformation that is simply too powerful to overlook. And this broadcast will provide you with a deeper understanding of the subterranean financial activity than has ever been presented before. Right now, a synchronized series of movements beneath the surface of the world's financial systems is capturing the intense focus of seasoned currency watchers, financial analysts, and even senior staff within the technical departments of major international financial institutions. There is a compelling consensus among these experts that something within the system is being actively prepared, and this preparation is occurring quietly, methodically, and precisely where the vast majority of the public would never think to look, deep within the digital and physical banking infrastructure. What exactly is fueling this rapidly escalating wave of speculation? Why are reports of digital platforms displaying anomalous behavior multiplying? What is the significance of the many observers reporting clear signs of intensive back-end testing and synchronization operations? We are meticulously breaking down every single piece of evidence that collectively points towards financial systems potentially running high-level simulations related to the IQD profile, and why so many experts are concluding that these subtle, hidden maneuvers could be a strong indicator that larger, more definitive steps are currently being undertaken. Remain completely focused on this analysis, because the further we delve into the details today, the more you will appreciate why the professional discussion surrounding the dinar is fundamentally different now compared to just a few short weeks ago, and why a significant number of experienced watchers believe a critical testing phase may already be in full swing. This is not unfounded speculation. This is a sober analysis of technical observations and the professional interpretation of their significance. One of the most widely discussed topics circulating right now is the increased intensity of back-end banking system updates. Financial platforms across the globe routinely engage in processes to synchronize their currency listings. This is done to prepare for expected regulatory changes, implement new international policies, or meet evolving global requirements. However, what is drawing attention now is the reported frequency and sheer volume of this data syncing, constant refreshing, and system testing. This level of activity is not typical for a currency during a prolonged period of market stability or quiet time. These quiet, behind-the-scenes activities are precisely the kind of technical preparations that almost always precede any major adjustment within the financial system, whether that adjustment is a new government policy, a fundamental change in exchange procedure, or even a deep system-level update. While none of this technical activity independently confirms an imminent revaluation RV, it unquestionably demonstrates substantial movement. And in a currency environment where significant movement is exceptionally rare, any new or accelerated activity immediately becomes extremely important to analyze. When financial systems initiate test runs with simulated values, check the status of liquidity feeds, or perform deep-level confirmation of currency profiles, it is a universally recognized signal that preparation for a future event is actively underway. It is crucial to note that this preparation does not automatically guarantee a revaluation. It could simply represent a complex compliance update or a standard, large-scale technical refresh. Nevertheless, the observable pattern of activity has deeply captured the attention of observers because it aligns perfectly with long-held expectations that before any substantial change in the dinar's technical or actual value, global financial systems would first need to conduct controlled, large-scale test operations to absolutely prevent system overload or catastrophic technical failures. The alignment of the observed technical behavior with these anticipated preparatory steps is the central reason for the current heightened interest. Another crucial element that has dominated the conversation is the unusual behavior reported by various users who monitor online financial tools, platforms, or specialized data watchers that track real-time currency metrics. These tools do not, by their very nature, display official exchange rates or guarantee impending value changes. However, they frequently provide a technical window into when internal systems are refreshing, syncing, or receiving deep back-end updates. Over the last several days, multiple observers have provided credible reports of seeing very temporary digital glitches, sudden currency code resets, unusual and non-standard timing of data updates, or a rapid cycling through test data formats. None of these specific events are long-lasting, and none of them serve as independent confirmation of an upcoming RV, but they collectively and clearly suggest that something non-standard is actively occurring within the broader global digital environment, an activity which warrants thorough understanding and scrutiny. When a specific currency's data profile is undergoing intensive testing inside the secure, internal systems of major financial institutions, it frequently triggers instantaneous, momentary flickers or data anomalies in the public-facing tools that draw their data from those systems. This occurs even when the temporary values or changes displayed are purely for technical testing purposes and are neither real nor official. It is essential to reiterate that this pattern does not constitute definitive proof of an immediate revaluation, but it is conclusive evidence of activity. And in a financial domain where the technical activity is typically slow, predictable, and routine, the sudden, noticeable increase in this type of digital movement has caused experienced observers worldwide to pay acute attention to every detail being reported. A major focus of today's deep analysis involves the concept of system simulations. Global financial systems routinely conduct test operations for an extensive variety of reasons: mandatory compliance checks, annual software updates, preparation for announced policy shifts, internal corporate restructuring, or indeed, preemptive preparation for potential major market movements. Recently, numerous credible reports have surfaced from multiple independent observers suggesting that sophisticated simulations involving the IQD digital profile may be actively running within specific high-level digital infrastructures. These technical simulations do not, in any way, imply that the dinar is revaluing today, tomorrow, or even in the near future. However, they are a clear indication that the IQD is being included in the technical environment for serious updates or complex testing, a factor that many dedicated currency watchers interpret as a highly significant sign of technical readiness for a potential future shift. Large, interconnected financial networks must operate with absolute certainty that a currency's data can be transmitted smoothly, securely, and with perfect accuracy before any major, new international use or increased circulation is implemented. This meticulous validation process requires weeks, if not months, of dedicated technical preparation. The fact that professional watchers are currently noticing a measurable increase in this internal, foundational activity has inevitably sparked a renewed and intense interest in the possibility of the currency taking a substantial step forward. Whether these particular simulations are solely related to standard compliance or, alternatively, to something far more significant, the timing of the observed activity is the central element that is drawing the highest level of scrutiny and professional discussion right now. Let's turn our attention to an observation that many viewers have been commenting on: the noticeable increase in silence from official channels. When a financial institution or sovereign entity is actively preparing for a structural or major functional change, it is common practice for them to enter a controlled, quiet period. This tactical silence is designed to preempt any misunderstandings, prevent unauthorized data leaks, or stifle premature public speculation that could disrupt the process. While silence alone cannot serve as independent proof of intent, it does create the necessary stable operational space for meticulous system testing and intensive internal review processes to be conducted. Many seasoned observers are of the professional opinion that the current tranquil atmosphere surrounding Iraq's financial environment is not merely coincidental, but rather a deliberate reflection of a period of quiet preparation and internal stabilization required for a shift. If a country is preparing to introduce a stronger, more modern financial structure, fundamentally adjust its core currency procedures, or align its economic profile more closely with stringent international standards, a period of official quietude is a typical and expected component of the rollout strategy. During these critical quiet periods, dedicated financial teams can conduct deep, level, back-end infrastructure checks, meticulously test all operational liquidity channels, and confirm that every single digital gateway and platform is functioning with perfect stability and security. This internal validation is paramount because even the smallest technical vulnerability could precipitate widespread delays or crippling confusion during a major financial transition. The current quiet period we are observing is highly unusual because it follows many months of active vocal announcements, major reforms, and significant policy movements. When a phase of loud, demonstrable activity suddenly transitions into a phase of distinct silence, people naturally begin to consider the possibility that a crucial hidden preparatory phase has now officially begun. A central pillar of today's discussion revolves around the essential concept of controlled technical testing. Within global currency systems, this process of controlled testing is not merely important, it is absolutely vital. Before a currency is authorized to proceed to a new international stage of use, its digital and physical infrastructure must be tested for internal transfer capacity, digital conversion functionality, seamless international routing capability, and complete regulatory validation. Crucially, these technical tests do not utilize real values, they do not alter the public exchange rates, and they have no direct effect on public markets. Rather, they serve to accurately determine whether the existing digital infrastructure can reliably manage large-scale, high-volume operations. Many experienced watchers believe these essential controlled tests may be currently underway, based on the unusual system behavior being reported by those who actively track specific financial timing cycles and predictable platform refresh intervals. When a high-level financial system initiates the process of testing currency data, the process typically begins with small, localized checks, then progresses to larger, systemic checks, and culminates in broad, comprehensive tests designed to confirm overall stability and resilience. These intensive checks sometimes manifest publicly as rapid, fleeting fluctuations in data monitoring tools, temporary blank fields on specific data platforms, or brief, localized resets within various exchange interfaces. All of this data becomes exponentially significant when it is observed to be occurring simultaneously across multiple tools and platforms, especially when the activity specifically involves a currency like the IQD, which rarely demonstrates any significant degree of back-end technical activity. Under normal circumstances, the simultaneous cross-platform appearance of these technical artifacts is a powerful indicator of coordinated, deliberate movement within the system's core. Another crucial component of this comprehensive update involves the contextual timing of this accelerated technical activity. A great many watchers are convinced that the present global financial and geopolitical environment is creating significant pressure for a large number of countries to rapidly adjust their fundamental financial systems, modernize their global banking networks, and successfully move their respective currencies into a more stable and internationally aligned position. Iraq has been working to construct a fundamentally new financial structure for a period of many years, and some highly regarded analysts argue that this immense technical and structural work is now demonstrably reaching a significant point of operational readiness. The timing of the reported back-end activity appears to coincide precisely with a moment when Iraq could be strategically preparing to seriously strengthen its currency's global profile or fundamentally update the mechanics of its interaction with global financial markets. Once again, it must be stated that none of this evidence independently proves a specific future date or confirms an official revaluation. However, the distinct alignment of global financial shifts, accelerated digital infrastructure development within Iraq, and the widespread reports of back-end testing has created a powerful sense among analysts that something highly meaningful is likely in progress. This timing is of paramount importance because large, systemic economic steps are almost universally preceded by an extended, quiet buildup of internal preparation. And analysts are increasingly of the opinion that the current constellation of technical signals strongly suggests that this essential preparation phase may be nearing its culmination. The entire financial world is now watching this dynamic with intense professional interest. One of the most fascinating aspects of this recent development is the simple yet profound question: why would sophisticated financial institutions invest time and resources in testing a currency that has not yet demonstrated any fundamental movement in the public eye? The technical answer is straightforward. Testing must precede movement, not follow it. If a financial system possesses a credible expectation of any type of significant future change, be it a major regulatory shift, a new complex exchange procedure, or a restructured currency format, the necessary technical testing must be conducted beforehand to mitigate risk. This technical necessity is why so many experienced observers believe the hidden activity being reported now is not merely random system noise. Rather, it is likely part of a meticulously structured preparation process. These critical test runs allow financial systems to perform an essential check for fundamental errors, rigorously confirm data integrity, and absolutely ensure that the entire digital infrastructure possesses the robustness to support high-volume operations without failure. Without this rigorous technical testing, any large-scale systemic shift could introduce severe disruptions across global networks. Therefore, the fact that reliable watchers are reporting clear signs of increased back-end activity is technically logical if one assumes the systems are actively preparing for potential, significant adjustments. Even if this complex activity is entirely unrelated to a revaluation, it still undeniably indicates that major global financial institutions are dedicating significant technical attention to the IQD infrastructure, which in itself represents a major and noteworthy development in the currency's operational history. Let's take a moment to discuss the distinct technical patterns that experienced people have observed over the last several weeks. Watchers have consistently reported an increased frequency in synchronization cycles, noticeably faster platform refresh intervals, unusual or erratic timing of data resets, and overall technical behavior that simply does not align with the usual, slow, and predictable pace of IQD-related digital platforms. These unique patterns are extremely important because sophisticated back-end financial systems rarely alter their core update cycles unless the introduction of something fundamentally new is being actively prepared. Even the smallest necessary systemic changes require extensive technical testing. The unusual behavior being observed now appears to be manifesting across multiple independent systems, not just a single isolated platform. This wide-ranging nature is highly significant. When an isolated platform exhibits unusual behavior, it could be readily dismissed as routine maintenance or an independent update. However, when multiple, distinct platforms display similar technical behavior, especially when that activity is focused on the same currency, it strongly suggests a coordinated, large-scale system-wide adjustment is in progress. Watchers are increasingly confident that these specific technical patterns may reflect a period of coordinated testing, and coordinated testing is nearly always synonymous with preparation for a significant change in how a currency is managed, handled, or digitally represented within the broader global financial network. This technical alignment is a core piece of the current analytical puzzle. A major theme in today's analysis is the ongoing discussion of digital infrastructure. The global financial landscape is undeniably transitioning into a new era defined by advanced digital banking, seamless digital payments, and instantaneous international transaction capabilities. For years, Iraq has been strategically investing in new state-of-the-art banking systems, advanced payment technologies, and resilient digital platforms. When any country upgrades its fundamental financial structure, its national currency must be comprehensively integrated into these updated systems to ensure it can move smoothly and efficiently within the new high-tech environment. Many analysts believe the current technical activity surrounding the IQD may be inextricably linked to Iraq's large-scale digital transformation efforts. If new, modern digital platforms are in the process of being activated, rigorously tested, or broadly deployed, the currency's profile would absolutely require meticulous verification, technical updating, and precise synchronization with global financial standards and systems. These essential digital infrastructure upgrades could logically account for the measurable increase in back-end activity that has been widely reported. Whether or not a specific revaluation event is an intended part of that extensive modernization process remains an open question. But the undeniable high level of reported activity strongly suggests that something technically significant is being actively prepared for implementation. The scope of this activity points to serious, forward-looking strategic action. Next, we must directly address the crucial concept of hidden testing. Financial institutions, as a rule, almost never publicly announce when they are running internal technical tests. These complex operations are conducted quietly and securely to prevent public confusion, avoid sparking unnecessary speculation, or, critically, to prevent any misinterpretation of temporary test data as real-world values. If a major bank were to run a temporary test value in its system and the public mistakenly believed it was a real current rate, it could immediately cause either widespread panic or dangerous excitement in the market. Consequently, Banks must test with extreme discretion and silence. This inherent hidden nature of testing is precisely what makes the current situation so compelling for analysts. Watchers are convinced that the recent uptick in back-end activity may well be a direct manifestation of these quiet, high-level internal technical tests, which would perfectly explain why the tools that pull data directly from these secure back-end systems are exhibiting the unusual behavior being reported. Hidden testing is not a guarantee of an eventual revaluation, but it is a concrete guarantee that technical teams are actively and meticulously preparing the system for a future event or change. The fundamental question then becomes, what is that precise something they are preparing for? Some analysts confidently believe it is a standard, albeit complex, technical update. Others are equally convinced it represents preparatory action for a major financial step. The historical truth is that hidden, deliberate testing is often the earliest, most reliable sign that a new operational stage is rapidly approaching, even if the public is unable to see the official details yet. Another persistent and important question revolves around why these observed system movements appear to be accelerating at this particular time. Many watchers are of the view that the current intense global pressure on various economies is effectively forcing many countries to reassess and restructure their financial architectures far more quickly than originally planned. Iraq, operating as an increasingly developed and complex financial system, may be strategically working to rapidly strengthen its international standing, significantly improve its currency's digital profile, and align fully with mandatory global financial standards. When high-level global financial pressure intensifies across the board, nations often strategically accelerate their internal reform processes to meet the challenge. The recent intense activity might accurately reflect Iraq's serious push to modernize its entire financial system, fully stabilize its core banking network, and comprehensively prepare for international growth and integration. Even if the current surge in back-end activity is entirely disconnected from an immediate, planned revaluation, it still serves as a powerful demonstration that Iraq is dedicatedly working on its fundamental financial system at an extremely serious and accelerated pace. The reported speed of the system updates, the clear increase in demonstrable technical movements, and the visible synchronization of various digital platforms all collectively and unequivocally suggest that a larger, high-priority project is actively underway. This technical evidence of accelerated preparation is highly significant for anyone monitoring the currency's overall trajectory and future readiness. Now, let's turn our attention to the critical idea of a phased approach. Many financial analysts operate under the assumption that if the dinar were ever to fundamentally adjust its position within international markets, that change would not occur instantly, but would be executed in a meticulously planned series of multiple stages. This theoretical process would likely involve a sequence. First, core systems would be updated. Next, rigorous back-end tests would be fully completed and signed off. Following that, liquidity channels would be meticulously prepared and verified. And finally, public access and official announcement would be granted. This entire process is inherently time-consuming, requires highly detailed planning, and demands extensive, quiet preparation. The technical activity currently being observed could very well represent a clear sign of the early phases of that precise structured process. This observed activity does not and cannot guarantee any specific timing or confirm any future dates, but it does show a strong alignment with what experienced analysts anticipate would technically have to occur before any major financial movement could safely take place. The phased nature of all major financial changes is a vital concept to grasp. Nothing of this magnitude happens instantaneously. The core systems must achieve a state of complete readiness. All digital platforms must be structurally stable and resilient. Every single digital channel must be rigorously and successfully tested. The fact that reputable watchers are reporting compelling signs of the early phases of this preparation lends substantial professional credibility to the theory that a technical testing phase may already be underway deep inside the global banking infrastructure. Today's comprehensive update also strongly highlights the intense level of interest coming from global financial watchers. Many individuals who have been closely following the IQD progress for years have stated unequivocally that the last several weeks have felt fundamentally different from all prior periods. Instead of the usual flow of random, unverifiable rumors or isolated individual claims, there are now visible, repeatable signs of undeniable system movement. These technical signs include clear back-end data feed flickers, temporary and non-standard data changes, and a widely reported increase in digital platform activity, specifically concerning the IQD profile. This unique clustering of technical signals has led analysts to seriously question whether the financial environment surrounding the IQD is actively entering a new and critical technical stage. Global watchers are dedicating serious professional attention to this, because these types of coordinated technical movements do not occur often or without reason. Historically, when they do manifest, it usually serves as a clear technical signal of preparation for a significant development ahead, even if the eventual outcome is a complex modernization plan and not an immediate revaluation. The activity itself still firmly indicates that the IQD is receiving an elevated and unusual level of focus from technical departments and global systems than is customary. A technical development that is in itself highly significant for the currency's profile. The sheer consistency and widespread nature of the technical reports have brought the issue into the professional spotlight. Another essential component of today's technical discussion is the critical concept of stability testing. When a financial system anticipates a major increase in digital traffic, significantly higher transaction volume, or the imposition of entirely new operational requirements, it is mandatory for it to execute rigorous stress tests. These high-level tests are specifically designed to ensure that the system can reliably handle large concurrent user loads, process high-value movements securely, and manage complex international routing without failure. Some analysts believe the current back-end activity around the IQD may be directly linked to stability testing operations. If entirely new digital pathways or significantly updated exchange procedures are being prepared for rollout, the system must be fully tested to handle the resulting and expected increase in transaction load without crashing or slowing down. Stability testing is a fundamental and normal part of any large-scale financial modernization initiative. However, when it involves a currency with the unique profile of the IQD, it immediately transforms into a key technical signal for the experienced watchers who have tracked the currency's history for many years. The strong possibility that intensive stability tests may be running right now is one of the primary reasons why so many analysts are concluding that significant foundational steps could be rapidly approaching completion. The need to ensure the system's resilience under anticipated future load is a proactive step that speaks to preparations for a new operational phase. There is another compelling question currently circulating within technical circles. Why are certain major banking platforms now exhibiting more frequent currency refresh cycles than normal? Typically, currencies that maintain stable or fixed values are updated very slowly because there is no technical necessity for constant data adjustment. However, in recent weeks, observers have clearly noticed a faster cycling, more frequent reset procedures, and unusual, non-standard update times on a range of technical platforms. This unique pattern has led watchers to professionally conclude that the back-end currency profiles may be undergoing intensive, high-level verification checks or urgent synchronization updates. These updates could certainly be a reflection of new, mandatory compliance requirements, or they could equally be an integral part of a much broader, system-wide preparation process. What makes this specific moment unique is the compelling combination of multiple, different platforms showing simultaneous activity. When different, disparate systems all display similar, coordinated movements, analysts often interpret it as a strong technical indication that the currency is actively being prepared for a much broader integration across various major financial networks. This coordinated movement is a much stronger signal than any isolated instance of maintenance activity. Let's dedicate a moment to the critical topic of technical signals. In the detailed world of financial analysis, signals are defined as small, specific pieces of technical behavior that, when viewed collectively, strongly suggest the formation of a larger, underlying pattern. The current technical signals surrounding the dinar include a verifiable increase in digital activity, unusual and erratic refresh cycles, widespread reports of intensive back-end testing, a noticeable quiet period from official sources, and accelerated cross-platform system syncing. Any one of these signals in isolation might not hold much weight, but when this multiplicity of signals appears concurrently, analysts are compelled to pay extremely close and professional attention. This clustering of technical signals is exactly what has unfolded over the last several days. The observable pattern has become too consistent, too widespread, and too technically compelling to simply dismiss as routine noise. Even if no immediate public change is imminent, the simple fact that these specific signals are occurring suggests that the IQD is demonstrably in a crucial stage of technical transition or preparation. Watchers view this as a fundamentally positive technical development because historically, clusters of such signals often precede significant future changes. The entire dynamic suggests a high degree of purposeful, coordinated action behind the scenes. The discussion also includes the interesting possibility of internal rate testing. It is important to understand that internal rates are completely distinct from public rates. They are temporary simulation, only values used solely inside secure financial systems to accurately simulate how a currency would functionally behave under a variety of hypothetical future conditions. These simulations are essential for helping banks meticulously test liquidity channels, assess the complexity of global routing, and rigorously check overall system stability. Recently, watchers have actively speculated that internal rate tests may be taking place due to the unusual and coordinated system movements being reported. While there is no public confirmation, the unique technical behavior observed on various platforms strongly aligns with what analysts expect to see when internal, high-level testing is actively occurring. Internal rate testing does not, by itself, mean that a revaluation is scheduled for this week or this month, but it is an absolute guarantee that the currency's fundamental technical environment is being comprehensively prepared, updated, or adjusted for a future scenario. This technical readiness is another strong reason why so many experienced observers are concluding that a high degree of purposeful activity is happening right now, out of the public view. The professional assessment is that the technical environment is being purposefully readied for a change. Another crucial point worth emphasizing is the growing international interest in Iraq's economy. Over the last few years, Iraq has been dedicatedly working to structurally strengthen its financial system, attract increased foreign direct investment, establish greater currency stability, and fully modernize its national banking network. Major global financial institutions have shown clear and accelerating interest in expanding their operational work with Iraq, which has naturally heightened expectations that the country is preparing for a stronger, more integrated international financial position. The increased back-end activity being observed may be directly related to Iraq's continued and dedicated economic progress and its purposeful alignment with increasingly demanding international standards for finance. If Iraq is demonstrably building a more stable, modern, and internationally compliant financial system, it is technically logical that its national currency would be undergoing essential updates, rigorous testing, and comprehensive system integration across global networks. Even if this activity is simply a necessary part of a broader, long-term national modernization plan, the current elevated level of reported movement serves as a strong signal that Iraq is making serious, verifiable technical steps behind the scenes. This level of technical engagement with the global system is unprecedented in recent years. One of the most important messages for today is whether those currently holding the dinar should feel concerned about missing out on any part of this process. The clear and unequivocal answer is no. The current, unique activity is occurring entirely within secure, closed technical systems, and any potential, significant public change would be formally and officially announced well in advance. Holders are not required to take any action whatsoever during these back-end testing phases. In fact, the most prudent approach is to remain completely calm, stay rigorously informed by factual sources, and absolutely avoid reacting to speculative rumors or unverified claims. The movements happening now are strictly confined to a high-level technical environment that is completely inaccessible to the general public. Crucially, no one can exchange early, no one is missing out on a public opportunity, and no official public exchange rate has undergone any change. The primary purpose of today's comprehensive update is not to claim that a specific public event has happened, but rather to clearly explain to our viewers why dedicated professional watchers are dedicating so much attention to these unusual and coordinated system activities. Understanding this bigger technical picture empowers holders to remain informed without falling prey to the constant stream of misinformation or fear-based speculation. Patience and accurate information are the key tools at this time. Let's closely explore the concept of system readiness. A major financial system must achieve a state of absolute, complete readiness before any significant, structural step can be safely executed. This readiness checklist includes fully updated and verified digital pathways, proven and stable liquidity channels, rigorously confirmed currency profiles, and comprehensively tested international routing systems. Many experienced watchers believe that the current wave of back-end activity strongly suggests that these critical readiness checks may be actively underway. Readiness checks are a universal and mandatory precursor to any fundamental change in financial structure, major regulatory adjustment, or large-scale modernization rollout. These thorough checks are the technical insurance policy designed to ensure that the system will not catastrophically crash, freeze, or suffer a major malfunction during a transition. The fact that watchers are reporting credible signs of these readiness checks being conducted lends significant professional credibility to the theory that the IQD is moving deeper into a serious technical preparation stage. Regardless of whether this specific preparation is for a multi-year modernization project or for something more immediate and impactful, the activity itself is profoundly meaningful and demands careful, ongoing observation from the entire community. Another major facet of this discussion centers on technical behavior that is best described as system synchronization. Synchronization is the technical process by which various financial systems update and align their currency databases to meticulously match current international standards and regulatory requirements. This ensures that all systems consistently display the identical, correct information. In recent days, watchers have observed technical indications that synchronization cycles involving the IQD are happening much more frequently than normal. This suggests the currency's profile is being refreshed, verified, and resynced far more often than the fixed nature of the current rate would typically necessitate. While increased synchronization does not independently prove an upcoming revaluation, it is irrefutable evidence that the currency is being actively and systematically updated deep inside the technical networks of global finance. This type of high Frequency technical movement is genuinely rare for the IQD, which is precisely why professional watchers are paying such close attention. Synchronization cycles typically experience a verifiable increase in frequency just prior to major system updates, compliance changes, or international operational adjustments, making this reported activity particularly noteworthy and compelling for analysts. Next, we must discuss the critical concept of liquidity preparation. If a currency were to significantly expand its role and usage within international financial markets, the system is required to rigorously check and verify all its inherent liquidity channels to ensure the seamless and efficient movement of funds. Liquidity testing is designed to guarantee that high-volume transactions can be successfully completed without frustrating delays, technical errors, or systemic blockages. Watchers are increasingly confident that the current wave of back-end activity may well include these essential liquidity checks, which are absolutely crucial for confirming the overall stability and transactional capacity of the entire system. Liquidity preparation does not mean a revaluation is guaranteed to happen in the short term, but it serves as a powerful demonstration that the underlying system is being actively prepared for a substantially higher future usage and volume. The strong indication that liquidity channels may be implicated in the current back-end activity is one of the most compelling technical signals available right now, suggesting that something profoundly significant is being put into place behind the scenes, even if the public is unable to view the precise technical details of the process as it unfolds. Finally, today's comprehensive update must conclude with a clear look at the bigger strategic picture. Regardless of whether the timeline for a revaluation is near or distant, the hidden activity currently taking place deep inside global financial systems is real, highly noticeable, and profoundly meaningful. Professional analysts are consistently observing a sustained level of back-end technical movement that has not been witnessed for an exceptionally long time. Digital platforms are measurably refreshing their data more often. Currency codes are displaying unusual, non-standard behavior. Back-end technical feeds are flickering and resetting. Systems appear to be synchronizing at an accelerated frequency. All of this accumulated technical activity strongly suggests that dedicated technical teams are actively and concertedly preparing for a larger, new stage in the Dinar's operational development and future use. The ultimate purpose of this extensive update is to ensure that our viewers understand these technical signals clearly, entirely without the use of unverified hype, debilitating misinformation, or any false promises about timing or outcome. Something undeniable is happening in the background of the global financial system. It may simply be advanced technical modernization, it may be strategic preparation for future stability, or it may indeed be the verifiable early stages of a significant systemic shift. Whatever the precise nature of the event, the hidden activity is definitively real, and professional watchers around the world are paying incredibly close attention to every development. Stay alert, maintain your calm, and remain accurately informed, because the next steps, whatever they turn out to be, will emerge with full clarity when the time is right.